with their beauty, as exemplified by Vanya Mishra, who achieved the title of Miss India.
The boundless potentials of engineers extend beyond mere invention and discovery. Their true potential is unlocked through the holistic development that our institution offers. Today, on the day of Engineers Day, we have the Director of Punjab Engineering College, Dr. Baldev Sethia, who has graced this event with their presence. With a blend of more than 35 years of experience in teaching, research, consultancy, and administration, Dr. Baldev Sethia has been the driving force behind our engineering endeavors, tirelessly working and endlessly inspiring us. On this momentous occasion, we have here three leading experts from the industry who will enlighten us with their experience over the ages and share with us the magnitude of lucid impedance of engineers in this industry.
We have Mr. Vaibhav Varun for our speaker note session. Mr. Vaibhav Varun is a prominent figure in space exploration and collaboration and has made significant contributions to India's partnership with Russia. As a panelist at the Indian Space Congress, he has played a key role in advancing joint space endeavors. He has co-authored Brahma, a significant publication, and is currently serving as the managing director of Aviation Academy, which received the award for excellence in sustainability, highlighting his commitment towards sustainable aerospace practices. Through his initiative of Aviacul, Mr. Varun has emphasized the importance of resilient aerospace engineering.
We also have amongst us two special guests for our panel discussion. Our first panelist is Mr. Sunny Kabrawala. He's a pioneer in the private rocket development sector and has played a pivotal role in making it a reality. His groundbreaking ideas were showcased in his TEDx talk on the topic of building a rocket under $100. This major feat of engineering propellants on such a minuscule budget is highly commendable. He proudly serves as the founder and director of Star Labs Surat. Mr. Kabrawala has extended his thousands and has successfully trained over 36,000 students and professionals in the intricate field of rocket science.
Our second panelist is Ms. Rashmi Shiron. She is a space tutor at ISRO. She currently shines as a science communicator at CCL, IIT Gandhinagar. Her dedication to fueling space education and awareness among students allowed her to become a dynamic content creator as well. She even holds a Guinness World Record for her groundbreaking online sustainability lesson. She ignites curiosity for painting a brighter tomorrow through her passion for education.
We also have a special guest of honor, Wing Commander Rachit Bhatnagar. Wing Commander Rachit Bhatnagar was commissioned in the Indian Air Force on 28 November 1994 and served the nation for more than 20 years. He's a man with actual hands-on experience in the industry, from testing the fierce technologies of Indian aerospace to experiencing the vicious draft and has a practical outlook of the industry. Let us give a huge round of applause to our speakers and our panelists.
An engineer's life is far from complete without the enriching touch of culture and music. As we come together to celebrate Engineers Day, we are excited to introduce you to our music club, which aims to infuse our technical world with sweet harmonies. Engineering is often associated with precision and logic, but it's equally important to recognize the creative and artistic side of engineers. The music club at our institution embodies this creative spirit, providing a platform for students to explore their musical talents and passion. Let us welcome the music club for a performance where they'll blend the world of engineering with the magic of melodies. Please welcome them with a huge round of applause. दिन थे, वो दिन भी क्या दिन थे, वो दिन भी क्या दिन थे.
Wow, that was truly an amazing performance by the music club.
To open our speaker session today, we are delighted to partner with Mr. Vaibhav Varun. We kindly invite him to the stage.
Very warm good evening to all the faculties, students who are present here, my fellow speakers, and Wing Commander Rachit sir, thank you so much for accepting my invite. I would just like to give you a small introduction. I know it's been a long day for you. So my name is Vaibhav. I primarily work in Moscow in this place called Star City. Have you heard about it? Yes? How many of you have heard about it? I should make some correction. I was working, now I work in India. Yeah. Yes, what about you? What have you heard about it? Yeah.
Star City, there's a space research organization.
It's a?
Space research organization.
Not strictly space research organization, but I'll just give you a view. Since we're talking about Engineers Day today, there's a very unique place just on the outskirts of Moscow, about 80 kilometers. It's called Star City. And anybody going to International Space Station, by anybody I mean anybody. It can be from America, it can be from China, it can be from India. Whosoever is going to this space station, they are all trained in this city. It's called Star City. It's a heavily militarized area. So I thought today is Engineers Day. Let me give you insight on something unique. It was established about 50 years ago. And the first person to get trained here, I think most of you can guess, was Yuri Gagarin, the first man to go into space. Wing Commander Rakesh Sharma ji was trained here. And as you know about ISRO's next manned mission, that is the Gaganyaan. So all the 6 cosmonauts, the 3 who will be going and the 3 backup, are currently being trained here. And in fact, a lot of people don't know, but this center is open for visitors. It's open for educational purposes. So I'll just give you a small tour of what we used to do. No? So as you can see, this is the basic model of the basic picture of the International Space Station, previously called as the Mir Space Station. So the Mir was the original Soviet module, and later on the other countries' module were added to it. So the US got the NASA module is there, the European model is there, the Canadian module is there, the Japanese JAXA module is there, and together what you have is what we call as International Space Station, right? Now, I think you recognize this man. How many of you do recognize? Anyone? So he's Yuri Gagarin, the first man to go into space. I think you all know PEC speaks very proudly about Kalpana Chawla being the alumni of this college, and even she was trained at the Star City. So the very first steps that we go into it in the part of the training is what we call as the theoretical training. Now, for those of you who have not been there, it's about 1.5 year process where you have to pass certain exams. The basic idea is that you must be from either Air Force background, or aeronautical engineer or aerospace engineer. Speaking about India, we don't have as such any fixed criteria. Most of our cosmonauts, including Wing Commander Rakesh Sharma, are picked out directly from Air Force. It's a government process as of now. We are slowly and actively moving towards privatization of space sector. So we can imagine that in the upcoming decade, we might have something like that in India as well. But as of now, it's the only training center in the world. And let me tell you, when Rakesh Sharma ji was being trained in Moscow, his mission commander, Wing Commander Yuri Malshev, who's a Russian cosmonaut, was leading the program. And all these photographs are not taken off the internet, they are actually clicked by him, by the team of Rakesh Sharma and his granddaughter, who also happens to be my good friend. So as you can see, this is a one-to-one simulator. It's written in Russian as Zvezda, which basically means as the one-to-one model of the Mir space station. Now, just to let you know, this is not just a model per se. In case the actual International Space Station module fails, this is the one which is ready for takeoff to the space station. Have you heard of the movie Vizov by any chance? Anyone? So there was a movie recently came out, I'm not sure it is released in India, it's called Vizov. The idea is this is the first movie which was actually shot on International Space Station. So we were a part of that project. There was an actress who came up and we were told कि इसको train करना है और space में भेजना है. Now you can imagine for somebody who is not an engineer, at least you guys are engineers, you understand technicality. It took her 2.5 years to study proper aerospace engineering because you cannot send a person into space just like that, right? And her name was Svetlana, by the way, you should go and watch the movie. After this theoretical training, she came to us in the practical simulation training. She had to undergo all the trainings that an actual cosmonaut undergoes. And not only that, the art department, the camera department, the sound department, all of them had to undergo training not to go into space, but then be at the ground and control all of these from the ground station. So you can imagine already how difficult it is to shoot a movie. Then for an actress to actually go into space, not because she's on a R&D mission, but she's acting. Right. And this is a small upscale model of the Soyuz capsule. This is where the cosmonauts actually sit inside. So it's a very small capsule that is throttled into space. I happen to be at the home of Honorable Wing Commander Rakesh Sharma ji. And generic question that everyone asks him, how do you feel when you go to space? He said, and I literally say it as he said, इससे वाहियात सवाल मैंने अपनी लाइफ में नहीं सुना. Because he says, to imagine करो वैभव, मैं rocket के ऊपर बैठा हूँ. It's literally a rocket. Its job is to get blasted. That's what it is. It's literally a ball of fire plunging into space at thousands of kilometers per hour. So I don't think कोई ऐसा आदमी होगा जिसको डर नहीं लगता होगा. Because it's sitting on a rocket. The name is rocket. It's a bomb. It's basically a bomb. It's a bomb that doesn't blast. If it doesn't blast, the mission is successful. If it blasts, it's a failure. As simple as that. So you're sitting on a bomb. And after that, all you have is some layers of aluminium and titanium in between you and death. Correct? Because the moment it malfunctions, there's vacuum outside the space, it crushes you. Correct? You have limited air support, limited oxygen support. So all this require very strict psychological training. Correct? It's not easy. It's not just enough to be a good Air Force pilot. It's not just enough to be a good engineer. You have to be psychologically prepared as well. Because when you go into space, you look and outside there's nothing. At least if you're flying an aircraft, you see clouds. Kuch to dikhta hai. Here what you see is just kilometers and kilometers of darkness. So that is why where I would like to come up to. So we have something, I'll come back to the centrifuge later on. So we have something called as the vestibular training, right? Here you have several rounds of psychological training. You are being subjected to several high Gs. By Gs I mean the extraordinary acceleration that you feel. And not only that, I think बहुत लोग जब space program के बारे में सोचते हैं, their imagination ends with people going to space doing something. But we forget they have to come back also. Correct? Now coming back is a whole different process. As you can imagine, when the whole space shuttle is plunged back to Earth, we are not precisely sure where it will land. exactly where it has to land. So in case of you not being able to land at the desired location, you must be able to survive in any random location that you go. Correct? वहाँ पे पानी भी हो सकता है. If you are having a bad day, you can just plunge into some river or some ocean, for example, or you might just land up in a forest with very minimal supply. So you can imagine already आपने अपना food supply consume कर लिया है while you were in the duration of the event. Then you land and you just have basic equipment. So maybe you have some knife, you have some things to help you survive. So that's I'll come back to Hydrolab as well. Yeah, so this is what I was speaking about. This is something called survival training. It's something that all cosmonauts go through. Is basically they take you to a random location and they just leave you there. And they see how many days can you survive. So you have to eat whatever you get. If you got a knife, if you can hunt an animal, eat it. Right? I remember personally, I was part of a survival training about 5 years before. मैं कोई cosmonaut नहीं हूँ ना मेरी इच्छा है मैं मजे के लिए गया था. Very clear. So I went on an expedition to North Pole and as usual सुनने में बहुत अच्छा लगता है but it was minus 55 there, right? And the only food that you can eat is not food because it was moving, you know. So you have to eat the crabs which are not fully cooked. So I was there for about a week and I can only imagine the kind of survival training that cosmonauts go being there for weeks and weeks. That if 1 week is that much torturous, you cannot imagine how much it will be difficult for somebody to be in that situation for weeks and weeks, right? And uncertain situations. And then I obviously come back to what I was telling. This is my favorite. It's the typical Soviet aircraft, the Ilyushin 76, one of my most favorites. What they basically use this is for zero gravity training because when you go there, your orientation gets disturbed. Right? You don't know which way is up, down. There's no up, there's no down, there's no left and right in the space. So somehow you have to have the hang of doing that. A low scale training is when they do it underwater. So basically you take salted water or uske andar go into certain height and then certain depth, and then you perform all your experiments. The other way, which is rather expensive, is to take a Ilyushin 76, fly all the way up, then switch off the engine and let the aircraft fall. So that you experience what is close to pure zero gravity, right? Already जब aircraft में turbulence आती है तो आधे से ज़्यादा लोगों की तो हिल जाती है, because they cannot sit in that turbulence because it's minor turbulence. For a pilot, it's nothing. But imagine all your engines being shut off, correct? And this about 10-20 seconds, as I can show you. ये जो diagram है, it's being repeated again and again and again. I'm so sorry, the material is in Russian because I'm used to giving this in Russian language. But anyway. So this basically means your engine switch off zone and then this is again. So by the time you land, you are somewhere close to 2g of gravitational force. And then you repeat this cycle again and again and again, right? I'll come back to what I was going to show you. My least favorite part is what I call as the big centrifuge. I hope आपको ज़िंदगी में कभी इस पे बैठना ना पड़े because it runs at extraordinary speeds. I don't have the time to show you the video of a person actually sitting inside and then you're being rotated again and again and again and again. The only passing criteria which I have been told कि अगर आप उल्टी नहीं करो तो you're good to go. That's what they say. If you pass this test without vomiting, I think you are good to be a cosmonaut. Right? So this is just a small brief. I just wanted to share something new with you guys. And lastly, of course, we all know how to eat, but we all don't know how to eat in space. So there's a special food that is prepared for space, and a cosmonaut must learn how to eat as well. So this is all as a part of my presentation here. I congratulate you again for the Engineers Day, as it has been told that an engineer can do everything except engineer. Yeah, you look at stand-up comedians, you look at actor. I'm an engineer myself, so I can tell you कितनी बार मैंने अपना job switch किया होगा, but I'm happy that at the end I always come back to engineering. It's a beautiful way of life, a very fine balance between technicality and being artistic, because at the end all of design process is an art process. When we design aircrafts or when we design any kind of spacecraft, the strict technicalities don't work. Right? It's not as easy as writing F is equal to ma and everything will work. You also know it doesn't work. Correct? So there's a fine balance of art. Your intuition also contributes to you designing something. Right? So that's all for my time, and I'll continue ahead in the panel discussion. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Webber, for a remarkable and thoughtful words. As we gather here to celebrate National Engineers Day, it gives me an immense pleasure to invite our director, Dr. Baldev Sethia, who has not only been a visionary leader, but also a driving force behind our engineering endeavors. Now, I request Director Sir to kindly come up on stage to share a few words.
Dean Students Affairs, ADSA, heads of departments, registrar, distinguished speakers and panelists, members of the faculty, students, ladies and gentlemen. First and foremost, let me take this opportunity to wish you all a very happy Engineers Day. Well, I feel honored and indeed very glad to be addressing you all on this great day. The previous speaker, Mr. Webber, just gave us an insight of something that I used to think was very fascinating. Long, long ago, after Neil Armstrong set his foot on moon, I remember having seen a small movie. I don't remember maybe even 5% of it except in bits, wherein the last part that's been shown, how to eat, that was fascinating. I still remember a few glimpses of that. But other than that, whatever has been explained and shown today, I just shudder to think of even thinking of going to space. But all in all, yes, something that we saw last month, our Chandrayaan-3 landing on moon, it's the work of all engineers. And certainly it's the engineers who have changed and shaped the world. There is a phrase that says, people hate change. I believe, yes, as the quote says further, but it is the only thing that has brought some progress to the world. And that change is brought about by none other than the engineers. Well, dear friends, today I believe you will also agree with me that engineering, in the word of engineering, today what we call engineering is getting slightly confused with technology. We started with engineering. Etymologically speaking, in India, we had only two engineerings to start with: civil engineering and military engineering. The domains were different. The domains were not like specification based or your skill based or your specialization based, but they were based on the area in which you are working. If you are working for civil, it was engineering. It was, if you are working for the military, the defense forces, it was military engineering. And then we had the mechanical engineering creeping in. Machines came in, the wonders of the wheel came in, the gears came in, and we had mechanical engineering. And thereafter, with the advent of electricity, the electrical engineers, they came into being. And we know that for most part of the previous century and even before that, it's been these three branches of engineering which have been ruling. Even till about the 80s of the previous century, we mainly had these three engineering branches with of course certain other branches which were shooting or coming out of mechanical engineering. 80s, then we had the advent of electronics and communication engineering. Computers with all its offshoots, which is ruling the show today. This had been the latest addition. And most of us of my age and slightly younger people or maybe some older people, we have seen all these changes take place. But nevertheless, the importance of those branches of engineering has never been lesser. It's only that you require maybe some lesser number of people working in that area. In the last 1 decade at least, we have seen even this branch, the latest branch of engineering, the computer science and engineering, this has grown like never before. That engineering is not confined to educational institutes. The outside world is much broader, much bigger, much larger horizontally as well as vertically. We are teaching you the knowledge. We are giving you the required skills, the skills that we can give you as per the domain of our faculty, as per the extent of our facilities that can be given, say in terms of the labs that we have, in terms of the workshops that we have, in terms of whatever we can gather for you. But then there is something else, which is the attitude part. Your adaptability, your urge for lifelong learning, your empathy, your feel for the society. At this age and stage of my life, I have started feeling that this attitude part is much more important than what I have been doing during the last more than 35 years. I started my engineering in the year 1980, 43 years back. I used to feel if I have impeccable knowledge, if I am full of skills with me, I think that's the end of engineering. But the attributes of engineering demand that you have to have much more of the attitude, the ability to change, the ability to adapt. And that is the reason why I say, when you are moving into your professional world, you'll find in the next 40 years, things, engineering itself, the technology, the techniques, they are going to change like never before. So that's something we need to be adopting. During the last few years, we have seen that his invention of the atomic energy, the atomic bomb, he was the person who was responsible for creating the atom bomb and ending the World War II. Somebody who claimed to be the destruction himself. That gentleman, no more a gentleman, that person was a big physicist and an engineer. He is known for being both. It is stated that he completed his program of 2 years of masters in physics in a matter of few months. And his teacher had commented that this boy is brilliant, extraordinary. One day this boy is going to shake physics or maybe the world. But the writer writes, he shook both. He shook physics as well as the world. And 4 times he was nominated for the Nobel Prize. And all the 4 times it was declined. Reason? Something that he created was not for the benefit of the society or this world. And that's what I want to bring home to you today. Your knowledge is going to be of immense help to you, your society. Your skills are going to be of immense help to you. They will help you in earning your livelihood as well. But then it is your attitude which is going to take you far. So on this day, when we are celebrating the this gentleman's 56th Engineers Day of the gentleman who lived for 102 years, 1860 to 1962. A great man indeed. If you read about his biography, you will genuinely be impressed that this gentleman was not only a great engineer, a great statesman, a great administrator, but also a great human being. And that's another thing that I want to pass on to you, that even as engineers, you got to be very good human beings first. Our engineers during the previous past few decades, we have made overuse of industrialization. Technology has been put to a bigger and greater use of industrialization. Something that should also be put to other uses of the society. Of the latest that is coming up in CSC, AI, or the chat GPT, we are highly excited by this kind of technology or this kind of what we are trying to term it as engineering. Somebody is trying to create some big knowledge for us and we are happy using that. That's what I believe chat GPT says. Somebody is creating that knowledge, there is no doubt about it. So that's where we have come to. Well, I believe we will follow the ideals and the lessons given by our great engineer, Bharat Ratna, Moksha Gundam Visvesvaraya ji, somebody who did so much for the society, and we are all proud of him. Well, with these words, once again, I wish you all a very happy Engineers Day. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your invaluable insights. We would like to thank our director, sir, for honoring us with his presence by taking out the time from his busy schedule. Sir, we are immensely grateful to you for supporting us endlessly for organizing such events and propelling all the students to excel.
Now, I request all the dignitaries and faculty members and staff to kindly proceed for high tea outside the auditorium. All the students are requested to stay seated in the auditorium for refreshments. Students, kindly please remain seated.